Welcome to the Overland and Sea podcast. Today we are talking about the Fulham away game on Monday. Andrew, good result against Brighton in the League Cup midweek. Fulham are currently in 11th place. They've not done too badly, actually. They've won against Everton 1-0. They beat Spurs in the first round that we all played in the League Cup. They drew 1-1, but then won 5-3 on penalties, which when I was doing my research, I was still surprised to see. They beat Luton 1-0, and then they also beat Norwich in the League Cup 2-1 midweek. They have drawn with Arsenal 2-2, which I thought was a standout result there. And they've lost to City 5-1, and before that, they lost to Brentford 3-0. So overall, it's not too bad from them. Talk to me about your thoughts on how this game will go.
Interesting. Yeah, it's weird because I don't think that's spectacular. I think that's where I'd expect for them to sort of be. It depends on the Tottenham team that came out against them, but I think
but even still, I'd expected the Tottenham to do a bit better than that in the League Cup.
It's a decent result, and I think probably the only one is getting a draw against Arsenal. You probably expect them to lose that, but it depends whether they're home or away. And
I think they were away.
Yeah, that's a very good result for them then. Obviously they've lost Mitrovic, so they've got Raul Jimenez in. Hopefully he doesn't rediscover his form after his injury, because I don't think he's been the same player since. But I think they're just a pretty general mid-table level Premier League side that will be well drilled, difficult to beat, and can hurt you if you give them a chance. So it's be similar to, I think, the Forest, Bournemouth, those kinds of games, where they'll probably sit back quite heavily, force us to try and break them down and try and catch us on the counter-attack.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting challenge on, can we build on this confidence a little bit, because we need to build on this confidence in the next few games, because after that we do have a horrible run of games. So you've just got to go strongest team we can put out, really try and take the game to them, and hope that it comes off for us when Jackson can't play, so we can't even take our shooting boots from the last game. But hopefully that creativity from Cole Palmer, hopefully Mudryk doesn't ride a challenge and actually just takes the contact and goes down for a pen, and we can actually score this one. Maybe get a bit of luck, just something. But yeah, I think it's just gonna be a lot of Fulham players in the box, and it's gonna be very difficult to get a goal again.
Yeah, they are a very well organised team. Silva's done, I think, brilliantly with them since he's been there. He kept them up last year as well. And if they carry on getting results that they've got, maybe bar the Brentford one, you expect them to be quite comfortable this year. You've already said it, strongest team possible. Let's hear your starting 11.
Sanchez in goal. I think personally I would go Maatsen left back, Colwill, Disasi, and I play Cucurella at right back.
Really?
Because Gusto is still in. Yeah, I think he had a good game, and I think if we're going to get caught, it's going to be with pace. So I'm hesitant to play a four at the back with Disasi at right back and Thiago Silva in the middle. Maybe there's an argument to say that we play a two with Colwill and Silva, but I think Disasi played well against Brighton, so I think it'd be harsh. And he also has got behind the team, and I think he was very spirited, let's say, when Jackson scored, which was good to see. So
what Disasi was?
Yeah. So I think he's a positive influence on the team, and I wouldn't want to drop him. I think midfield, I'm going Casado, Enzo, Palmer. Wingers, I'm going to go Mudryk and I don't want to say it, but I think it is going to be Sterling. And then up top, I'd go Broja, assuming that he's fit, because I don't know if he's fit. If he's not fit, then we're gonna have to go. We'll probably end up with a Sterling up top, Mudryk out wide, and Conor Gallagher on the right, or Cole Palmer on the right, Conor Gallagher in midfield, and Enzo further forward. So that I think that's probably what Poch will go with Casado, Gallagher, Enzo further forward, Cole Palmer wide right, Mudryk wide left, and Sterling up front. On the basis that Broja's probably not fit.
You also said, actually, before we recorded this, that Madueke wasn't on the injury list, and he also wasn't on the bench for the Brighton game.
Yeah, I think that surprised me. And in this game, I would think about playing him. I think that weighed quite heavily on my decision to not put him in, because there's obviously something that has to be going on behind the scenes that's not right if he's not in the squad at all. Because the bench wasn't obscenely strong, that there wasn't really space for him, or that and if he wasn't on the bench, then I probably would have put him in the starting 11. Bear in mind, put Conor Gallagher on at right wing rather than having Madueke on the bench. Felt a bit bizarre. So I think that's probably the team that I would go with and hope Broja's fit. If he's not, then I think I'd go with probably what Poch is doing, what I said Poch would do. And because no one else has ever really played up front. So, yeah, I just don't think we've got any other real options. I think personally, from what I've seen from Noni, I would think about starting him just so we can have Cole Palmer in that centre attacking mid slot. Because of how well he played the other day. But I think when he came on against Villa, he was playing some really good through balls from the right. So I don't think it limits him too much. As long as it's the fullback that's sort of overlapping and he's in that hole that he likes to take up, that's sort of slightly off the right, between the defender and midfield, just
Yeah.
in that hole. I think that could work quite well, and he would add more supporting options for Sterling. But I think it relies on Enzo getting forward and being in support, because we're not going to have that big man up top. So yeah, I don't like playing Sterling up front. It hasn't ever worked for us. It's definitely not something that will be beneficial for us in this game.
I will do anything I can with the team so I don't have Sterling up front.
So what are you doing with the team to fit that?
Just the starting 11. Sanchez in goal, Maatsen at left back. He's already come out and said he wants to play left back. He wants Chilwell's position. And then I'd have Colwill, Thiago Silva, and Dizazi. I'd have Dizazi at right back.
Okay.
Just because he's covered there a little bit. And I don't think he's done too badly. Can he do a full 90 minutes there and pull out, a decent performance? I'm not sure. We'll find out. Pardon me. Midfield, I'd have Caicedo, Enzo, and Palmer. I will put Sterling on the right. I'll have Mudryk on the left. I would start Broja because I would rather he started and there's less pressure for him to have to potentially come off the bench and get us something in a game that we've already said is going to be probably quite condensed, and they're going to be sitting back. I'd rather he started, and then maybe we take him off, or even if we go right, like we said before, you've got the first half, do the first half. If Broja is not fit, I still would not put Sterling up front, and I would go on a risk and say I would put Washington up front.
That's a good point.
Just because he's been on the bench, he's not had a chance. I think we signed him either right at the very end of the preseason, but he didn't play. He wasn't available during preseason, or he wasn't fit for it. And for me, look, no offense to him, but we've seen what Sterling can do up front. Fulham also have quite a big back line as well. So I don't think he's going to do well. Sterling would do well with that. I've got a sneaky suspicion that they play 5 at the back. I could be wrong though. Maybe they just drop someone else in the back line when they need to, so it is 5. But they don't have a small back line. So that's what I would do. No offense to Conor Gallagher. Like, again, I don't mind if he plays. Again, I just think we lose a little bit of impetus. But then again, maybe with Cole Palmer playing on the right, maybe that's enough spark that we needed. But I really liked him behind the striker, and I would rather set up with him being able to be behind the striker, doing what he did against Brighton, moving forward, and then maybe switch Sterling off, put Palmer on the right, and then bring Gallagher on into the midfield. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't have Sterling up front. I just don't see the point. I don't see what that would really bring us. So I would give, if Broja can't start or they don't want him to start, then I personally would give it to Washington. But I don't think Poch will do that. I think if he was going to give him a chance, it would have been in the League Cup.
True.
So
I think potentially it's Jackson's form that means that he hasn't got a chance, because I think if Jackson is banging in goals and doesn't get that booking to miss this game, I think you're then thinking about, right, we've got other options. We can give this bloke a game. But with Jackson struggling for form and knowing that he was missing the Fulham game, I think he had to play if he was available.
I mean that I agree with that. I meant in terms of maybe he would have brought him on. If they're worried about risking Broja is what I meant for Monday, maybe they would have brought him on instead of Broja. I agree Jackson was always going to start because he was unavailable for Monday. I didn't mean it like that. But it's another option that I think will be intriguing to see. I don't know if he can play on a wing. If he can play on a wing as well, I'd say wicked. Then you can replace Sterling at some point during the game. Just to see what he can do, what impetus he brings. But I think we can all agree that the last thing that we want is any more injuries, especially to players coming back. And
especially to a striker.
Well, exactly. So yeah, I mean, even if they limit his game time, fair. But I think, considering how we've played against teams who sit back, I'd like Broja to start and then bring him off.
Yeah, I think you've made a very good point there. I think we can set the team up so that we don't press quite so much. I think with a team that you set up, maybe when we don't have the ball, sit back a little bit and invite Fulham onto us a little bit more. And the wingers sort of come through and are the ones that sort of try and break the lines and run in behind. And if we've got the ball and we've got nothing in going on and there's no space in behind, then you're right, Broja is definitely a better option in that box than Sterling. Even if he's not pressing, just to save his legs and save the injury and not risk it too much. And he just tries to win headers, holds the ball up if we need him to, shifts it, and sort of tries to join the attack and jog into the box and tries to win a header.
But I think you just said
I don't think it's at that level of that blasé and that low, but yeah, maybe there is a situation where we can manage him through the game for 45 minutes, or depending on how fit he is, where it's not that much of a risk, and we still have Brozier in the box when we need him. Because I think if we're crossing the ball into the box constantly, I just don't see Sterling's not winning headers. Let's face it.
No.
And while it hasn't worked for us as a system, and maybe we change the system and would have to play slightly different with Sterling up top, yeah, I think.
But also, I think you
Brozier up
might have
top,
said it. I might have missed it if you didn't. But I just think even having Broja in there for his hold-up play,
yeah,
is going to be massive against Fulham. And let's face it, that is something Sterling can't do.
Mm.
I mean, no disrespect to Jackson either. He can do it, but I don't. It definitely still needs work. And then I don't think we've got anybody else that I've seen that could potentially do that up top.
No, I mean, I'm not entirely sure that Brozier is really a hold-up player, but he is big enough to flick on a header or do something like that.
Well, even if he just holds it up for a little bit, just to help bring players to him, he's got more of a chance than most in that starting lineup. And, you know, I think that's going to be pivotal. So, you know, a Cole Palmer from, you know, the number 10 position, or an Enzo, you know, even a Mudryk on the wing can sort of get in, and then, you know, you got turn and go again. I think that could be the key for beating Fulham. So, yeah, I just don't see Sterling up top working. I think fair enough, put him on the right. Maybe he can get a good cross into somebody. But again, I think he does need to go up the gears a bit more, be a bit quicker with his decision making. And hopefully it won't be him doing a through ball. Score predictions.
I think we'll edge out a 1-0 win from a pen.
From a pen?
Yeah, I think Mudryk's going to win us a pen. I think he'll have learned his lesson against Brighton. He's not going to ride challenges, and he's going to fling himself to the floor when he feels contact. Like every other bloody team does and gets pens. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. And it's more hopeful that we keep a clean sheet. I think if we don't keep a clean sheet, we're really going to struggle. I can't see scoring really more than one goal, unless we just get something early from set piece or something, and Fulham have to come on to us. But yeah, the team will be interesting. What do you think?
I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1 to Fulham, or
no, to us?
Okay, who's
I am
scoring?
backing us this time.
Makes a change. No, actually, if you could back the other team, because we seem to win when you back the other team.
All right, then 1-0 Fulham. No, I just think that if we can play the way that we did against Brighton, I think Cole Palmer was massive in that. You know, Mudryk, I think, is improving every game. I'd like to see just a little bit more risk taking from him. You know, a bit more driving into the box and maybe taking a shot on, because he can do it. We've seen it in the training videos. We've seen it in pre-season. But I think a lot of that does depend on, you know, breakaway runs, which is fair. But yeah, you know, I do think we can win this game. It just depends on, I said, fitness and what Poch wants to do. I don't think we'll win the game if Sterling's up top. He's not a striker. So yeah, that's what I go with. And you know, I would start Sterling on the right, but then if he's not doing enough, I would bring on Conor Gallagher, and I would move Palmer over to the right at some point. And yeah.
Who are your goal scorers for 2-1? Chelsea goal scorers, don't worry about them.
I'm going to go with Broja. I'm going to go with Mudryk or Enzo. I'm going to go with Mudryk.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's one where I think we have to play Mudryk. But it's just, I don't think it's his type of game.
It's not his type of game.
When they're all sat back, it's just difficult. he needs a bit of space to kick the ball into, chase it.
But that's where I'm hoping he'll start to develop a partnership with Cole Palmer if Cole Palmer is in that middle role behind the striker.
Yeah, and they start reading each other's runs. And
Yeah,
but again,
movements.
yeah, it just massively depends where we pick up the ball. And I think teams are very quick to drop back to their area against us.
Yeah, they are. But again, that I'm hoping that will just then highlight more of a quicker ball.
Yeah.
Even if it is a long ball over the top, just not all the time, but just mix it up a little bit.
Mm.
You never know. Maybe they'll then start rushing back so quickly that we can then do, a quick short ball because players think, oh, they could go long now. Whereas I think we're constantly playing slow ball from the back. Everyone knows what we're going to do, and everyone can just run back, go right. We're set up. We do need to mix things up a bit, and we definitely need quicker ball. I think Cole Palmer and Mudryk can bring that. Sterling can bring it on his day, but I am concerned that sometimes he slows the play down a little bit. But I'm hoping if everybody else is doing that, then actually he will jump on the bandwagon.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to bring up for the pre-game for Fulham away?
Need a win, boys. We need a win in the Prem. It's all well and good going on a cup run, but if you don't stay in the league,
They did say
they've
they've done the quote this year of like it's a 90s thing where they brought out the new home kit, and in the 90s we were a cup team, so
yes, but we would have finished in the Europa League spots before it existed.
yeah,
I think we were sixth most years. I think
around
quite
there, yeah.
Languishing in 12th to 14th is not somewhere I feel comfortable. We need to start, and bear in mind, if we keep playing like this, we're going to struggle to pick up points because we start playing the big boys very soon. We could lose every game in October and most of November, and then we come into the Christmas period where we've got some easier games. But if our confidence is incredibly low from similar results to what we've got so far, we're really going to struggle over the Christmas period. So we need a win, and hopefully we get one.
Lovely stuff. Like, share, subscribe, follow, notification button, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.